So one of the questions I get asked a lot is how? How do you fit an art practice in? How do you do this when you have a busy life? And and because it feels stressful trying to fit things in, what can happen, which is a real bummer, is that you stop. This is Nicholas Wilton in Art to Life, and today I'm talking about how to create an art practice that's ongoing. And there's a way of thinking about it that I think could maybe take some of the stress away. The way I describe it is your art making is a conversation you're having with yourself. And a conversation doesn't have to look like 5 hours in a studio. All you're doing is connecting with your art and what you're thinking really on a daily basis, which at first sounds kind of like a lot, but your art can be touched upon if you're interested in a certain thing, if it's color or whatever. If you're walking around carrying this idea, then things that you come across, it might be a book you're reading, like that counts. That's your art. That's what's keeping you in it. You're just having more of this conversation. Sometimes when I'm cooking, I'm cutting up these vegetables and then I'm putting them in piles, on the counter. And I mean, I love food, but I also love the color of food. And you put these piles together and they look amazing. And then you put them in that pan and they change. And there's some amazing things just in making your dinner that relate to your art. Sometimes a really cool thing to do is to just do something completely different than your art in a way to have some new insights, as to refresh yourself. Like that counts. It's not always about a perfect trajectory of we did this much painting today and then we did this much and this much, or this finished this many units. This is a conversation, and the conversation can be had in 10 minutes. The conversation can be had by talking to someone on a subway, seeing something, just something, and notating it. If you're having this conversation, if you're remembering it and walking around with it, and the questions you're wondering about, then the things you see will trigger ideas, and your art will progress. Recently, I went landscape painting, and as you know, I'm not really a landscape painter. I make my paintings in a big old studio, and I just make up stuff, and it's really about the colors and the materials, and my whole studio is white, and there's not a lot going on except the floor gets really messy, and that's really interesting. But besides my lunch, which I bring, there's nothing in there except the paintings, all the paint, and the mess on the floor. And there's some books, but what was so cool, I went landscape painting with a friend of mine, and he took me to this amazing area out by the beach, and we had to hike down there. And it's like almost overstimulating for me because I'm looking at all the waves and the rocks and the sunshine and the birds, and then looking for a thing to paint and what feels right. There was so much outside input coming in. I just found it incredibly rejuvenating, and then trying to paint and just noticing colors, which I normally do just on a painting without anything, having all kinds of things around me. Plus the conversation I was having with him was really stimulating. And this, more than anything I had done all week in my studio, helped my art so much. I came back in the studio and I just was really inspired and fired up, and it had all to do with just having a different experience. So that's the idea here. So let me know in the comments, how are you continuing this conversation? How do you keep this going? What are the ways you keep it going when you're not in the studio? Because it's all about just moving this along and continuing it. On Wednesday, we have our Art to Life podcast coming out, and you'll want to check it out. It's actually, I made it when I was landscape painting, what I described to you. I went with the amazing landscape painter and portrait painter, or figurative painter, Doug Andelin. And our conversation was incredible. And I did it out there while I was struggling to paint, and he was making a beautiful painting. And I think you're going to find it really, really inspiring. So click on the link below and you can go check that out. You can subscribe and listen to other previous episodes, but be sure to check out this Wednesday's. On Valentine's Day, February 14th, this is it, you guys. This is the big thing Art to Life does. It's the beginning of the crush your art season that starts out, the first part of the year. It's all about making your art amazing and just really doing it. And the free workshop starts this. It starts on Valentine's Day, February 14th. We're going to be going over some amazing information that can completely shift your art. I was talking about how you get your, how you keep this conversation going. And a lot of times it comes from people giving you insight, giving you information that can really, really help. And it's not always about just sitting there struggling again and again and again, trying to do it all yourself. We're going over some amazing art making principles, and it all starts February 14th. So be sure to click on the link below and sign up for that. It's completely free. It's going to go all the way till Friday. And I'm really excited about it. We have all kinds of stuff we're giving away. We got all these prizes, but really it's just about, you will make some progress in this week. You really will be able to see your art in a new way using this information. So please come along for that. You guys, thanks so much for being here, and have fun in your studio or out of your studio this week. Okay, thanks. Hey everyone, if you found this helpful, I have a whole lot more to teach, share, and inspire you with every single week. So please join the Art to Life YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Okay, great. Let's do this.